Welcome back to Survivor China, folks.
Hey, here it
We're
is.
here in the end game, very much in the end game. We're
Yeah,
the last
it's
episode before the finale here.
the penultimate episode of Survivor China. Kind of hard to believe we're already here, but some of it feels like it's blazed past a little bit, which is weird because this has been a season of some downs, some ups and downs. It's been okay. It's been an okay season of Survivor, I would
Okay.
say.
I think we've
Yeah.
been on a high for some time now, honestly.
Oh well, we've certainly been on a high. Maybe that's why it feels like it's a surprise we're heading to the end game because the high has been for the past 4 or 5 episodes, I would say. But yeah.
Previously, Eric was voted out, and we're down to the final 5. And
Mm-hmm.
so, your power rankings previously were Todd, Amanda, Courtney, Denise, PG. All right.
Mm.
So, PG looking to be the next one up. I've also said that the last several episodes, based on your power rankings. So,
Yeah. She's been continuing to have dominance, to dominate in these immunity challenges, which has been
even though she's only
basically
won a
what she
couple,
needs.
actually, but
Huh?
she's only
Well,
won a
yeah,
couple,
she's
actually,
won
but
the.
it feels like it.
She has, but it's been the key ones that she's needed to.
Yeah.
Because like Eric won the immunity that time, but that was the time that it was just so fortuitous that they could kind of blindside James with that vote out.
Yep.
Um, she won this past
With
time.
PD's brilliant original idea that no one else had ever had, she was like, oh, "What if you go for James?"
Yeah, just get rid of James. Yeah, she's been like the thinkiest, other than Todd. Todd's obviously been like the
Yeah,
thinky mastermind here.
from the
but
beginning, you can tell PD's very much like a gamer. He's got a gamer mindset,
Yeah,
but she's kind of just not been
yeah,
working with the full deck of cards for a lot of it.
yeah.
You know, she's like goes up to
Been on
Amanda
the
like, "Did you know? Did you even know there are hidden immunity idols? Because I didn't."
yeah.
But I think James
It's
has them. And
yeah,
Amanda's like, I'm not stupid,
yeah. We
PG."
know. Yeah, I'm not stupid. PG. It's like
So
okay.
it's like
It's
yeah,
funny.
she's on the small bike like Jamie.
Yeah, I wrote in a I wrote in a previous week. Denise seems okay to be Todd's bitch, and I think that still continues to be the case,
Yeah, she
considering
made a
how she
big
voted this
decision
past
here.
time. Yeah.
Perhaps a pivotal
So
point, you know,
yeah.
where they could have had numbers to. Well, what would it have been? Would it have been a tie then? That's what we were going for. I
It might
guess.
have been a tie at that point, but
Yeah.
right, if she'd flipped, but could have shaken some things up a little
Sometimes
bit,
something
you
like
know?
that is the a game-winning sort of maneuver that you need to position
Yeah.
yourself in the end. You know, she might be running dead
But
here, but we'll see. It could actually. Sometimes you fall
yeah,
backwards into the right decision with these kinds of things too.
it's true. Yeah. Who's to say? There's still a lot of game to be played here. So
Well, not a lot.
yeah.
Not a
Well,
lot, but
it's
some.
it's not like a lot, but these are momentous days ahead. So there's a lot riding on for a lot of people. So
Let's see how it
yeah.
shapes up in this episode. As always, click the link in the description to see the highlights of our reaction. Come back afterwards for the discussion. All right, there you have it. It's PG's been voted out. Survivor China.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it goes with the power rankings right there, with my power rankings.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I mean
pretty rote,
it is what it is.
understandable, and
It's one of those. It's kind of one of those
yep,
things where it's like once you saw Denise make the decision last time, it was kind of hard to see anything else
mm,
happen because now it's even harder. You'd have to
yeah,
not only like she was
yeah,
saying her hope was Amanda, but she would also have to get Denise, who previously didn't vote that way. So it's like
and vote that way for some reason.
it's
Yeah,
like
I mean, here at least you don't have to rely on a tie vote kind of thing
yeah,
going on here, but the weird,
but you do
but
need three
her
people at least.
perspective seems to be that like, well, I want to keep Todd around because I feel like I have a good chance of beating him in the jury
Hmm.
with a jury vote.
Yeah,
And I Probably she might be right. It's either going to be Todd or Courtney is probably her best bet to winning, I think.
It's one of those things.
Um,
It's one of those wagers we've seen a lot, where it's like they're trying to guess the
yeah,
jury. When you have like,
yeah,
and we've seen it time and time again, either way, where it's like you have Rob Cesternino. Will people hate him? Not willing to take that risk. Vote him out. The final three. Johnny Fairplay.
mm,
Like these kinds of people, where it's like, will people respect them enough, or will they just dislike them enough to vote
yeah.
for me?
Well, game respect game because there's some people on that jury that are kind of a bunch of pricks, so that have lied and backstabbed and stuff too. So,
Oh, good pricks.
um,
They're gamers.
yeah, they're gamers. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Pricks, otherwise known as
There's also Jean
gamers.
Robert too.
Yeah.
There's also Jean
Right.
Robert there too. So
Yeah.
he's um.
So
So
I
yeah,
think for me, it's almost like I would never want to take that chance or bank on the fact that people will dislike the other person enough
yeah.
for
That to
me to
me
win.
is
You want to be
never
able to win just in your own merit more than anything.
right. That's why I've never liked this kind of sit and wait type play. I mean, there's a degree where you have to do that sometimes, but like to me, I feel like Denise is making a move to turn on Todd would work to her advantage because like man, because people would look at it and be like, you played Todd the whole time.
Right.
You rode his coattails and then boom, you backstabbed him right at the moment that you needed to get ahead in the game.
Exactly. It's like,
Like to me that's like the thing that's frustrating because like I actually kind of have come around and I actually kind of like Denise like as a
mhm.
player. I think she is thinking a lot more than you might necessarily think from like oh she's the older lady and she's not like thinking about a whole lot. But it's like no, she is generally thinking about this. But like I'm kind of with you. I don't necessarily share in that perspective. The banking on that they'll dislike somebody enough.
Because if you
What is
take them
it?
out, like you said, you get the best of both worlds. Where it's like
Yeah,
maybe they hated them that much, but they'll be like, oh great, you got the person we hated out. We love that. Thank you
yeah.
for doing that. It's like, so not only do you not risk them just respecting them and voting for them, when clearly
Mm,
like she's been left out of so many things.
yeah.
Not only that, but you could get the person they don't like out if that is the case. So
Right. Right.
give you
And
brownie
then
points.
and then from there, I mean, like using the logic from the movie Inception, a positive emotion is going to be more deep seated. Like a deep seated positive emotion is going to be more powerful than a negative emotion. And I think that there's a certain. I think there in this there might be a certain reality to that. I don't know. I'd have to maybe look back and figure out like voting patterns to kind of look into that.
Mm,
I'd be curious to see how that kind of plays out. In terms of if that holds true or not. But
right. Like,
I feel like for the most part that has been the case. I mean that's going on just vague memory, but
yeah, I think it's for the most part, people want to vote for someone they can like be like
mm,
happy that they voted for, and not like a shameful. I voted for you just because I hate this other person. I don't
hate
really
the other
like this
person. Yeah,
person.
yeah,
Want this person to win that much, kind of thing.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. Let's look back. I mean, what was the
Clay
last?
Jordan.
What was the last season? We had,
Nobody really hated Clay though. That's the thing.
oh well,
Um,
well they did.
the
They did.
last
So the last season
okay,
was
well they did.
Earl. Earl got
Earl, yeah,
every vote against Dreams and Cassandra.
yeah, yeah.
That's, I mean, that was pretty clean. He also didn't like blatantly backstab people that much. People didn't hate him, so it's
Yeah,
not really a good example.
right. He was a pretty well liked.
Same thing for
He
Yule.
was pretty well liked in general. Yeah, Yule.
Aris was like,
Mm,
okay. They just voted for the more obvious one there. Guatemala, they did hate Stephanie enough, it feels like, to vote for Danny.
mm,
It's also the underdog thing, which
yeah.
is like the position of where that's why people like PG are dangerous to go to the end with, because they have such a story, right? So you can't blame them for voting her out either, because it's kind of like the Stephanie of Palau. It's like we can't
Mm,
go to the end with you. Your story's too good. Like, you're the last remaining person standing here, and you could win these
Right.
immunities and get all the way to the end. So we almost have to get her out, you know.
Mm.
But yeah, the one I think we've only had really one example so far of them voting purely out of spite, and it seems like that was Amber over Rob. So
Yeah.
I guess so far it's been extreme cases of that, you know.
But even that doesn't really matter. It didn't almost kind of didn't matter at that point, like ultimately, because they got married. So
Right, but it's
you
like
know, yeah,
Amazon, Jenna votes out Rob, the last possible chance.
yeah,
Pearl Islands, Lil votes out Johnny Fairplay, last possible chance.
mm,
Um, it's yeah. So we've seen it pay off. I don't know if those are the best examples because
yeah,
there's also like an unfavorable option they're going against both of those times too.
right.
Obviously, people didn't care that Lil voted Johnny off. There's we're not gonna vote for Lil over Sandra, but
Yeah,
it is always interesting to look back at
yeah.
and see the different like final votes and stuff and see how people tend to
Mm,
vote. Ultimately,
mm-hmm.
people are gonna vote for someone that they like. They're rarely gonna vote for someone that they don't like just because they respect the game. So
Right.
it's all about whether we can't get in the minds of this specific jury in any season. So it's always like I guess we'll see, probably get a sense of it once we get to final tribal and see what kind of questioning we got going on there and how they respond to things.
Mm-hmm.
And that might then give us an idea where the jury's head's at. But it like differs from season to season for sure.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Because we saw like
I,
it with Rob and Amber, it was the lesser of two evils. It
mm-hmm.
wasn't. It was like we kind of didn't like both of them. And the same
Right.
thing with Thailand. You know, that's one of those examples. Like if literally anybody else was in there against either of them, they would have voted for them just purely because they want to vote for someone they like, and they just happen to not like both of these people enough that they could then vote on what they respected. So,
Right. You gotta.
but you got to play to your jury at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
that can be hard to
You
predict,
have
but for me
our
though,
own
yeah,
play.
that's how I see it. I'd say you always want to
Yeah.
take fate into your own hands if you can,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
because we've seen time and time again these people come and they're like just hoping that people don't like this person enough, and then they get swept against them, like
Yeah.
Tom versus Katie kind of thing.
Right. Right.
But
But Tom was just like a god among mortals, pretty much. That whole towards the end there.
mm-hmm.
No wonder Ian worshipped the ground he walked on, basically.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like
It's epic.
If Ian won that final immunity and voted Tom out, I'm sure the jury would have liked that quite a lot.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You know, but we shall see. The finale's coming up, so we're
We
gonna see
shall
all of
see.
our questions answered. We'll have a winner
Yeah.
crowned.
It's gonna be there's a lot. There's a lot always to unpack with those, so that's always a good time. That's for sure.
And then soon after that, we'll go into a full season review. We'll get questions from everybody, address different
Mm-hmm.
topics and things. Really good, do a deep dive on it, and then another
Love it.
season on the
Love it.
horizon. But who would you give an
Mm-hmm.
MVP for this episode?
I think the MVP goes to.
We didn't really even talk about all the anything specific, like other than that.
Yeah, no, we didn't really. I mean, there's a lot. There's a decent amount that goes on. I mean, challenges were fun, though. I actually don't like the.
To give
Didn't
the
really like the
arrows.
way that you chose arrows. I didn't really like that all that much because it was very like just felt like I don't know whatever at the end. like
Right. Well, it made for an uneven because we were like at first we're like, oh, it's gonna be a targeting thing. You're gonna target people, and we're like, oh no, it's not. You
mm,
hit your own name,
you hit
so
your own,
PG
and
does
then
have
it's
a
like
fair shot. But it was like, no, that you give out arrows, so no, she's only gonna get one
yeah,
arrow versus 5, 6, and 12, kind of.
yeah,
But then at the end, it was like, all
um,
right, Courtney's just the human randomizer. She's just shooting whatever
yeah.
she can
She's just
get.
shooting wherever and however. Yeah. I mean, so it was the reward was neat, though they complained the whole time. Todd and Amanda complained the whole time, or not Todd and Amanda, Todd and Courtney complained because I guess they didn't understand what the food was,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think they probably didn't cook it correctly, so their stomachs weren't. enjoying it
Yeah,
as
if
you would
PG
do when
was
you're not.
there, if PG was there,
Yeah,
you probably would have cooked it right.
yeah. I actually really like the Amanda and PG, like the heart to heart and the sort of reconciliation between them, because they sort of was always talking past each other when it came to everything. Like there was
Hmm.
like that moment where PG was, came to her and was talking to her about stuff, whereas like it seemed like Amanda was interpreting it that she thought she was stupid or something, and then was really condescending back to her, and then like that's every interaction for theirs has always been kind of like them talking past each other or like misunderstanding. So like seeing them kind of like come to know each other a little bit better and like be like, oh yeah, we're both like trying to do the exact same thing in this game, sort of like we're coming at it from like obviously I'm in an alliance, but we're sort of coming at the game in a similar way. um I think I'm gonna give it to PG, because dang, she did her darndest to try to win.
GG to
I
PG.
kind of I just felt for her, just struggling this whole time, so close to turning the tables, but just couldn't do it. But like not being
Yep.
so proud to just like totally blow off Amanda, be like that, and accepting her vulnerability, and so
Yeah, that was just one of a
yeah,
human moment, real human
yeah,
moment.
I really like that a lot. Yeah.
Because you get to this point where there's the one person on the outs and they're just kind of a dead man
Hmm.
walking. It's easy just to ignore them. So that tends to
Yeah.
happen. But we've also seen this a lot where there's a person who's like winning challenges towards the end, the last person of their
Mhm.
tribe, and it's like their luck runs out at some point, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, we kind of have to though, It's like,
Mm. Yep. Luck will eventually run out.
all right. So how about your power rankings for the final four?
That would be Todd, Courtney, Amanda, Denise.
Oh, interesting. Why did Courtney go up versus Amanda?
Um, Actually, no. Well, sorry, flip that. Todd, Amanda, Courtney,
Hmm.
Denise. I think Courtney is basically like Todd's sort of little scheming pawn, sort of in a way. But like she's like sort of the same. I mean, she even like sorry, she's like, we're both assholes or whatever. She said something like that, or we're both horrible people or
Right.
something. We're both grumpy or something like that. So um yeah, I mean, so I sort of like lumped them into sort of one court, but no pun intended. Um, but uh, but yeah, no, it's definitely Amanda. Definitely seems like she is the second force to be reckoned with here. Like it's gonna be her or Todd, seeing who comes out on top here. At least in terms of like flow of the game. I mean, the game's almost over, but even still, who's gonna is it gonna be Todd that sort of edges out over Amanda, or because I think one of them is gonna make a play for power, or ultimate play for. I mean, they've already sort of previewed that Amanda's and Todd are kind of coming to head here.
Hmm.
So
So I always like to ask who you're rooting for going to the finale. Who would you put your money on? They're gonna win. And yeah.
I feel like I'm personally rooting. I'm personally kind of rooting for Denise as just the underdog. Um, would put money on. I would probably say either Todd or Amanda. I think Amanda has it in her to flip the game around, so I might put more money on her. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
Denise is kind of my underdog vote, though. I've kind of come around and have a bit of soft spot for her. So even though she's been making really frustrating like decisions and being like, yeah, I'm like Todd Stooge. Oh well, it's just like, oh, don't do that.
I like how she's
She's
just
like, no,
openly
I can beat Todd. Yeah.
she's openly just been like up on the bottom of the totem pole, like at like challenges and stuff. And like PG's like, yep, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's why I tried to get you to vote with me last time. And it's like, oh, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. What you gonna do?
Yeah, what
It's
you gonna
tough.
do when they come for you? Yeah.
Mm.
it's it's very frustrating to see sometimes, but she might be able to
Mm,
pull something together. I don't know.
we'll
It'd be
see.
kind of exciting.
We'll see. The finale is upon us. So stay tuned for
It
that
is.
very soon. And if you enjoyed this video, why don't you go check out... What would you recommend they check out?
I recommend they check out. Why don't you go? You should go check out our episode 13 of Survivor Fiji.
Yeah,
Which I
what
believe
episode was that?
That was the episode where
Yeoman played the idol?
Yaman plays the idol. He gets the bad vibe and he plays the idol. It was a pretty epic moment. So you should go check out a reaction of that.
Isn't it funny? We've had a couple seasons where the idol has been pretty much a season-long thing. This one, they essentially neutralized the idol when they voted James out with both of them. And and so we've been an end game without the idol for once.
Yule has the idol and dominates the whole game because of it.
You had Terry, who had the idol until the very last episode. You had Yao Man playing that idol, and then Earl got an idol very, very close to the end on that. So this will be a first end game without any idols in the mix too. All right. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. If you do, be sure to read it on the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast, unless it's better suited for something like the season review, or if it has spoilers in it. I won't be reading it, but I won't be reading it on the podcast, but just know I am literally reading it myself. So feel free to comment what you like. And come back for another episode. The final 2 episodes of Survivor China, the finale and the reunion. Right. And then there's only 30 plus seasons on the horizon, folks. After that, it just never stops.
Only 30. It does never stop. That never stops, never stopping.
But we're having fun here, right? We're having fun.
Absolutely. Having a great time.
So take care of yourself, all right?
Yeah.